Hey guys, Welsknight here, and welcome back to another episode of Future's Edge. Today is going to be a very important episode. Our house has been cleared out. It's time for us to pack up and start our proper base. This house was temporary. Let's be honest, it's kind of ugly, and I could build our base here, but I don't think I've decided what I want to do for a base in this series. And this just really isn't the right environment for it. So instead, we're going to head off way to the northeast, all the way up here. Also, before I forget, let's make sure, let's unclaim these chunks so they're not constantly loaded. There we go. That's how you can load, that's how you can keep chunks loaded in this pack, by the way. Even in a single-player world, FTB utilities claim chunks. But yeah, we want to make sure those are unloaded. So we're going to head off way to the northeast. I should probably mention there was a stream between last episode and this one, and we tackled a roguelike dungeon. We found some decent loot, but nothing astronomical. I was honestly kind of hoping for better. But we cleared one out down to like the third or fourth level. I think we pretty much cleared the third level, and we tackled a little bit of the fourth level. But didn't really find anything all that amazing. So I don't know if we're going to keep attempting roguelike dungeons. I know the Modpack author, Landstryder, is watching this series. So Landstryder, if you want to customize roguelike dungeon loot a little bit to make it, a little bit more appealing, that would be kind of cool. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Also, there has been a very, very big update to the pack. We are now on the latest version of the pack, 0.04, version 0.4, and there have been some really big updates. There are new mods added into the pack, there's a lot of bug fixes, and among the new mods, my friend, applied energistics. Oh, baby. So, our kind of janky storage system with storage drawers and eventually wiring up an Ender IO thingy, yeah, we can do better. We've got applied energistics in the pack now. And interestingly enough, it was customized in such a way that there's no applied energistics world gen. You're not going to find Certus quartz out in the world. Instead, you actually make it in an alloy smelter. Which I think is really kind of cool. So that's going to be really interesting, and it's going to be something we'll definitely want to get into. No new quests have been added yet, although I got the impression from Landstryder's tweets that he is planning on adding new quests. Also, fair warning, guys, if you are playing along, and you've been playing on the previous version of the pack, and you're going to update, make sure you back up your world. And be prepared to transfer over. There's a file called questprogress.json. Make sure you are prepared to copy and paste that file over from your old save into the new one. Otherwise, you're going to lose all your quest progress. That almost happened to me, and I was very concerned. And I just realized that I made a UFO tree. We're just going to do that to do this. Yeah, we'll just do that. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish kind of working my way to our new base location. I'll show you on the map where it is. We were down, our previous house is right here. We're going all the way up here. This is kind of a desert savanna biome. We've got a bunch of hardened clay here, some other stuff, and that's where our new base is going to go. I think it's going to fit within the theme of this pack very well, and I think it's going to be super cool. So let me work my way over there, guys, and I'll meet you there in just a little bit. All right, guys, I am back, and welcome to the future location of our new base. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't it absolutely beautiful? We've got this kind of, what biome is this? Xeric shrubland? And then and then over here, I guess it's still called a Xeric shrubland. It's basically a desert and like a kind of savanna-esque biome. But what I'm thinking for our base in this series, since we've got immersive engineering, and since immersive engineering is such an integral part of this pack, I'm thinking that I want to go with kind of like an Industrial Revolution era factory. I think it's going to be super cool. We'll have all sorts of like immersive engineering stuff. We'll have a very kind of very industrial, not like futuristic industrial, but like Industrial Revolution, almost steampunky, but without the kind of fantasy elements of steampunk. It's kind of hard to explain, but I think it's going to be amazing. Like, I've got this vision in my head, and I think it's going to be super, super cool. And a lot of it is going to be built above ground as well. I've done a lot of underground builds. There will certainly be underground components to the factory because it's kind of going to be necessary. But I want the majority of this to be done above ground. And I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing. So without further ado, let's kind of get set up in this area a little bit. And actually, let's kind of explore. I see a little chunk of the map up here in the northwest corner that we haven't uncovered. I just want to kind of check that out real quick, see what we're working with. Got a bunch of lava over here, which will probably catch these leaves on fire at some point. That's fine. Okay, so it looks like this is just some water. The other option would be we could build over in this area too. This could be kind of cool, although I don't think I want to, because then any like trees we grow and any of that kind of stuff, if we build over in this kind of dead... What is the name of this biome? This is a steppe biome. Yeah, anything we build over here would end up being very brown, and I don't think I want that. I want a little bit of green. So I'm thinking we're going to build over there in that xeric shrubland. I think that'll be the cool thing to do. Can I sleep? Not yet. I will take the sugarcane, though. So, couple reasons that I'm taking this area to be my base, right? To be my lawfully wedded base. So, with the industrial factory, if we're going to do this kind of factory build, I think we want an area that isn't very, we want an area that's kind of, that looks kind of dead, because, you know, you'd have pollution coming from the factory, and it would kind of ruin the world around it a bit, with all the pollution, especially in like an Industrial Revolution era factory, where they were like, environment, what's the environment? We don't care about the environment. So, no pollution controls or any of that kind of stuff. So I think an area like this would be good. The other reason is that with us using immersive engineering, we're going to use a lot of immersive engineering wiring, right? And if we look at these wire connectors, which are going to be needed for all sorts of stuff, they all require hardened clay. And we have a great source of hardened clay right up here to our northwest. So that'll save us a lot of time and a lot of digging and looking around for clay as well. So I think this is kind of the ideal location. But for starters, we need to get some sort of like, even if it's just like a little starter shack kind of set up out here. So let's just clear a little space. Are these acacia leaves? They are. Ah, okay, cool. So let's just kind of clear a little bit of space. I don't need a lot. I just need enough to throw up like a little shack that's going to hold our stuff temporarily until we can get kind of a proper base constructed. So let's just kind of, that should be enough, I think. I think that'll be enough space. All right, so I have a whole bunch of these wooden storage crates from Immersive Engineering, and I brought this moving wand, which has a whole bunch more of these wooden storage crates. And we're just going to plop these down up there. We've got more of them here. There we go. And what do we got? 2 left? There we go. So that works. And let's put... I think that'll do for now. And then most of my resources from the other place are either there or in the storage module right here. I've got a lot of stuff in the storage module, and I think we're going to use these, some of these resources right here to start with to kind of build our base up a little bit. Let's just clear a lot of this stuff out. I'll put that chest there. And let's start grabbing a few things. Let's just go with cobble for starters. This is not going to be an amazing looking house by any stretch of the imagination, and it's going to get torn down pretty much as soon as we can. Let's see. So we're going to want probably 7 wide here. We'll have a wall, and then we'll maybe bring that out like so. Actually, let's kind of kick that out here a little bit. How many of these do we have? 1, 2, 3. 3 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be 18. So we got 20 of these. A lot of this stuff is going to end up going into storage drawers. And our storage drawers are basically going to go like right here, I think. This is where we'll keep the majority of them. Let's grab. That's not where that goes. Oh, I actually have to place it that way? That's annoying. That's all right. Okay, and then we'll probably put this kind of coming out here. Right, so this will be like our wall of storage drawers. We'll put our bed probably right here. Maybe, let's see. I'm trying to figure out how we can make this house look good and symmetrical. Let's see, bed here. Maybe we go there and here. So that would be okay. Although a lot of those are going to have to move as well. You know what? Let me get a foundation kind of laid out here. Let me get this kind of figured out as to how I want to lay out this house, and I'll come back to you in just a minute. All right, guys, I am back, and I'm kind of working right now on the house a bit and just trying to kind of make it look decent. I'm not going to do, as I said, this house is going to be very, very, very temporary. Like, I'm only going to have this until we kind of have our factory started. This is only going to be used to hold some kind of starter resources, and that's about it. So I'm not super concerned with how it looks, but at the same time, I don't want it to look completely garbage. I think maybe something like that would be good. And if we keep it at that level, then nothing can get up there. Like it's a non-spawnable area, because it would be on the half slab. But then at the same time, we could bring it up 1 block to here. And just bring it over 1. Like this. How am I doing on slabs? I'll be all right. We could do something like this. And then right here, it would kind of come up and around and end up on the half slab level at the very top. Except for this one little ring. And if we do that, I think we'd be okay. I mean, technically there would be some spawnable areas, but I don't think it would really be enough that I'd have to be concerned about it. Let's see. There we go. And then we would just cap it off at this height up here. Like so. That's not the greatest looking house in the world, but it doesn't really need to be. I mean, it's got kind of this, like, rounded shape and this rounded roof. It doesn't look awesome, but, I mean, it's not... It will serve the purpose that I need it to serve. Let's put it that way. For what I need it to do, I think this will be perfectly fine. And then I think what we'll do is we'll add slabs here, because we still want to kind of keep that rounded shape. So then we'll add one more row of slabs around the very edge, like this. I think we'll probably get rid of those two, right? And the idea here being just so that there's no... Yeah. I think that's good. I'm happy with it. It'll work. And then we'll just have to get some torches and stuff like that in there. So let me get everything laid out in the house, all of our chests and storage and all that kind of stuff, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. All right, guys, I am back, and I've got everything all organized. I got the house all set up. It's not great, but it'll work for a temporary setup here. I did go ahead and put our water wheel in place, so we have power gen. Got this guy hooked up. Got our ore processing hooked up. It's a little cramped. If I could do it all over again, I probably would have made a designated spot for our metal press, but a little late for that now. That's okay, though. So what I want to do now is get a little bit of a block palette going for our factory, and I've got a few ideas for this. So scaffolding, we've got steel scaffolding from Immersive Engineering, and I think we'll want to use some of that, but it's kind of expensive. You're talking essentially 6 steel ingots, 1 ingot per scaffolding, and that's a little bit, that's a bit. Yeah, but we will be using some of it, I'm sure. We're just going to have to use it kind of sparingly. Let's try to set up a block palette like out here. So we'll do that. Then there's concrete, and there's a lot of different concrete options in this pack. There's concrete from Advanced Rocketry, which is a new addition in the latest update, and that's actually pretty cool. Pretty easy to make, too. Gravel and sand. There's the concrete block from Better Agriculture, and then we have the concrete from Immersive Engineering and from Railcraft. So there's a lot of different types of concrete here for us to work with. Let's grab ourselves a couple of buckets. I want to try these out and see how these different types of concrete look. So let's see. I'm gonna need 3 buckets. 3 buckets. Okay, easy enough. And then let's just try making each of those. I think I'm gonna skip the Railcraft one for now, because I'm not super interested in that one. But let's try sand and gravel. So there's the Advanced Rocketry concrete. Then we'll try, was it stone and gravel? Sand and stone. Okay. So let's try those out. And then lastly, there's the concrete from Immersive Engineering, which is going to take 2 gravel, 2 clay, and then 4 slag. And that will give us 12 concrete, which is actually good because slag is a byproduct of making steel, so we're going to end up with a lot of it, and it would be nice to actually have a use for it. So let's just try a couple of these out. Those all look pretty good, actually. I like all 3. I like all 3 of those. Those will do nicely. Okay, now we don't have one mod that I wish was in the pack, but it hasn't been updated to 1.10. Would be the Catwalks mod. It was an old mod from 1.7.10 that was amazing. It added like these kind of steel scaffolding catwalks and stuff. And it was super cool. Like, you could do some really cool stuff with it. But unfortunately, it's not available for 1.10. However, we do have chisels and bits. So we can make our own kind of scaffolding blocks, I guess, or catwalks, I guess would be a better way to say it. So we'll probably be using that in our factory. And then we're going to need some other colors as well. So let's grab some stone and some iron ingots over here. And let's make some factory blocks from chisel. And then let's grab out a chisel here. And let's try a couple of these. I'm just going to go like so. Let's try out, rusty. Oh, that'll fit in really nicely. That's actually a really good option. We could mix that with this, and then we won't have to use so many of the steel scaffolding. So I really like that. Then we've got fans. We've got these segmented rusty plates, which I think are super cool. So that's pretty good. We've got the regular rusty plates, like so. And then these ones. And I think these are connected textures. Yeah. So we get something like that going. And then let's see. I feel like we need a block to add a little bit of kind of a color pop of some sort. Something that's industrial, but not brown or gray. Although we will have these caution stripe blocks. Those might be an option. And then there's all the iron blocks. Let's try experimenting with some iron blocks here. Let's just make a few of these. These are going to be super expensive, so we're going to have to use these very sparingly if we decide to use them. But there might be some good options here. Let's see. Maybe thermal? What's that look like? That's okay. It's okay. I'm not super in love with it, though. But then we could do, yeah, there we go. So we can kind of work some of those in. That's not really a pop of color, though. Let's see. What else do we have that would actually add color? What's this? Silver? I don't think that's what we're looking for. We've got all these different factory blocks over here. Let's try a couple of these. We've got like that's a little bit of color. We've got rusty grates. Oop. I think that's definitely going to have to kind of fit in there. And then maybe we go gears. Oh, and those actually move as well. I like it. I think that's a good plot. I think that's a good block palette. Like, I think we can work with that. That'll do. And then we'll do some additional stuff with like chisels and bits and some of that kind of stuff. But that should do. So primarily we're going to need iron and stone. We're definitely going to be using the immersive engineering concrete the most, I think, of the three concretes. But I think we'll probably use all three of them. Like, I'm pretty good with this. Yeah, that's nice. That'll do. Okay, cool. So we've got kind of a block palette picked out. Let's put a lot of this stuff back where it belongs, and then we'll just kind of toss this stuff over here. I am going to turn you back into iron ingots, though. And you get to go back in there where you belong. Okay. Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, also, I do have an extra heart. Ta-da! 16 lives. Look at that. We're doing well. All right, so we've got our block palette. Now, I think it would be wise to kind of lay out a little bit of a mine. I think we're going to want to plan this a little bit. And we're going to want to kind of do it in such a way that this will be easily expandable as we go along, but that it's not done. I think it's going to be important to plan this. I want to get some of these bee things as well. And mostly I just kind of want to get them out of here. Ow! Oh, wow. Those bees are brutal. Oh, man, they're coming after me. In the house. Quick. Shut the door. Did you see that? They just came charging. I mean, I did attack their hive, but they really did some damage. These guys are nasty. Wow, I'm kind of surprised. I didn't realize they were that mean. Like, I didn't know that they could hit that hard. Yeah, look at that. 3.5 hearts? Man, bees. Watch out. They'll get you. I guess we'll have to get... The problem is I need to get rid of a lot of these hives, too. Otherwise, they'll just kind of attack me as I'm running around the desert and running around the area. And we don't want that. But anyway, let's toss these guys in here. I don't have space, do I? Let's do that, and then I guess we'll toss these in here instead or something. I don't know. Whatever. All right, so factory planning. I think I'm going to have to clear a lot of this area out because the factory is going to go... Well, here, let's look at it on the overhead map, right? So we've got this area up here, savanna-ish, you know, this kind of grassier. I'm thinking the factory's going to go primarily like here-ish. You can kind of see where I'm moving with my mouse. Kind of this general area. And it's going to expand out in a whole bunch of different directions and all that kind of stuff. But there's going to be a lot of landscape clearing that I'm going to have to do here. Ooh, man, we're kind of... There we go. So let's see... I think what we should probably do is just start putting down blocks. That's probably the smart thing to do. So let's grab some... Actually, you know what? I'm going to need a good source of blocks. Maybe what I should do is start by making a little bit of a mine here. Let me get a little mine shaft kind of dug out. Let me get that done, and then I'll come back to you. All right, guys, I am back, and I've got a pretty... What? I fell through water. Huh? How is that possible? There's water. Right there. What in the world? Why does that not break my fall? That makes no sense. What? Okay. Hold on. There was water. Well, there was water, and then I like got hit or something. I mean, I guess I could put the water up, but let's do this. I want to be able to fall and not die. Maybe I hit the ground before I had a chance to... That's so weird. I thought if you hit water at all, you were fine. Is that not the case? Am I, like, losing my mind or something? Because I could have sworn that you were okay as long as you hit water. Okay, that worked. I guess it was just... I guess it had to go up a block. Strange. Okay, well, either way, I've dug out a bit of a mine here, or at least the start of one. So we are going to... Let's see. This needs to be the way it is. Let's get our stuff organized. This is our regular one. Okay, yeah. Okay, I think we're good. So this is cobble. And And this will give me smooth stone. And we're going to need a lot of smooth stone because it's going to be used for concrete and factory blocks and all that kind of fun stuff. Also, I've got these backpacks from forestry, which are pretty cool. They're pretty fantastic. They will automatically pick up extra blocks, which is obviously quite useful. But I'm going to dig out a little bit of kind of a, I guess we'd call it like a mining room right here. Let's actually expand it even a little bit. Let's make it maybe like a, maybe like a 5x5 room. I'm just thinking about laying this out and how I want it laid out and all that kind of good stuff. Oh, that's an ore I haven't gotten before. Hi, I take you. All right, so then we'd have right here, this will be like our way down, and then you land. We'd probably put some chests or something right here. In fact, I'm actually going to bring this back one more. We're just going to make, like, I'm not looking to have an amazing mine shaft that's, like, super cool to look at or anything like that. But if I'm going to be spending a bunch of time down here, and since I'm not going to be able to have a quarry to automatically get resources for me for quite a long time, I am going to be spending a lot of time down here. So I think it's probably best to have at least, just do a little bit. You gotta do something with this, because right now it's just really ugly. And like all this diorite, for example, that's gotta go. Like I can't have that in my mine shaft right in the entrance. No way. That's a terrible plan. That's a good way to drive people away from watching your series, It's just such an ugly block. There we go. All right, so we'll do something like that. We'll probably put a torch on either side here. Maybe we even raise this up one, I'm thinking. Also, this pick has auto smelt on it. That's why you guys just saw ingots fall. And, granite, very much like diorite. You can't have that either. It's just no. Don't do it. Don't do it. I promise you. Your builds will look better in like 99.9% of cases if you don't use granite and diorite. Like I honestly have seen one good use for granite in all the time that I've been playing Minecraft, and that is landscaping in snowy or high elevation areas because it looks like dirty snow. Diorite. Scar is the only person I've ever seen who's been able to properly use diorite in a way that it looks good. Every other case of diorite usage that I have... Hi, go away. Every other case of diorite usage that I've ever seen would look better with a different block. True story. Granite, very much the same thing. The only thing I've ever seen it used for that looked good was mixing it with coarse dirt and junglewood planks in the ground to make kind of a pathway. Other than that, always looks better doing other things. True story. But anyway, so we're going to do something like that, I think. And then I'm going to make this right here be the actual, like, mine shaft, right? So it'll kind of come up. Let's just make some stone bricks real quick. And we'll do, I think, something like this. And then right here, this will basically be the entrance to the mine shaft. Like so. I do want to get this gold, but I want to get it with my other one so I can double it. There we go. And then this will be the actual mine shaft entrance. So right here, we'd have a door. Torch. And then we leave a little bit of a gap. Grab those. Door. and a little bit of a gap. And basically that is how the entire mine shaft will go. Something kind of like this. I don't know that I'm a big fan of not having, it's night. Let's sleep. Oh, can't sleep with torches in your offhand, by the way. There we go. Let's sleep here. Well, you can't sleep in the sleeping bag with torches in your offhand, I should say. You can sleep, just not with torches. Okay, there we go. Let's make, there we go. Make some slabs. And let's just put a couple of those here. See what we think of that. That's not terrible. I mean, it's a mine shaft. It doesn't have to be, perfection. It just needs to not look completely trash. And I think this is a good start. And then, I can, obviously, I'm not really one to do a lot of mining on camera because it gets very old very quickly. But then what I would do is I'd basically just take these off in directions until we've mined up significant areas, keep expanding the tunnel, so on. This would be the central mine shaft, if you will, right here. And that way, we know kind of where everything is, and it's easy to keep track of, and, all that kind of good stuff. So, this is the way that I often do it in vanilla, at least until I get into a beacon. So I think this is probably what we'll end up doing here as well. It works, and it's not an atrociously bad-looking mine. So I think I can live with this. But guys, unfortunately, I am out of time for this episode. So my friends, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave me a comment. I do appreciate it. It really helps out my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. There are links in the video description below, so check that out as well. Otherwise, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll definitely see you next time.